Last week, Dean showed us some source browser integration with Orchard to generate a static site. Maybe not that's, oh no, the server-side stuff was for, there was some server-side thing for the index, for the search index, yes, to browse .NET source code. We talked about 1.0, we talked about audit trail updates and an issue that Antoine found with a new Windows update. And I think there is a mitigation. I saw that on an issue, there is a mitigation. They found a mitigation with a registry key or something like that. Or just an installed Windows update. Then today, demos, topics, demos. Dean is not here, so no demos. No demos. No new sites. No new sites. Okay, we'll see just the status and the topics. If there are any questions, we'll talk about 1.0 and we'll see what's left. So here, status. Status, this PR was merged, flag exclude children for taxonomy. There is a new option. A new option, exclude children in taxonomy for projection. So new option in the projections for taxonomies, then terms filter to exclude the children, just one term. Okay. In 1.10x because it's not breaking. Orchard core 15. 15 at 12.18. Monaco updated to 0.24. Library updates for Azure configuration secrets and Azure data protection blobs. Monaco version update, package dependencies, deployment steps. New kinds of deployment steps for Facebook, Google, Analytics settings, Microsoft authentication.
You are in mail.
What? Wow. So we already had that for a long time. So I'm going back there, 15. But it looked new. Everything seemed new. It's funny. This one, 15. Michael, update Monaco. You see, I'm like, yeah, we update Monaco editor, same thing.
Yeah.
Fix your lockout migration. Okay, so the new lockout feature maybe had an issue with the migration. Yeah, we've seen an issue reported.
Yeah, so 3 issues reported by different people.
Okay. And now this is fixed, so that's good. Fix unlock user. Okay, this link was wrong. Jasmine, fix material design icons when CDN is disabled. So this is using the Google. Is that it? Or not? Nope. So nothing to do with the Google static assets, maybe something else later. There are some fonts, so maybe it's related.
Yeah, this is a GitHub repository that I linked it there because he used the fonts and made them WAF files, which is what you need to use on the web, because there was standard icons in the Google repository.
Okay.
So he converted them to WAF files, and he added some documentation on how to use them.
Okay. So we don't need the CDM anymore in the admin.
No need.
Okay. This was the remaining stuff from the admin to work without CDM. Okay, good. Where is the resource file? This one. Yep, okay. Set CDN and set URL for local. So the CDN thing and the local thing.
And you can see the comment there that I made for the repository. If you move up.
That one.
Yeah, this one.
Okay. Branding for docs. So using the new icons. Wow. It's green. The blue is gone. This is transparent. Well, different SVG. So what means if I go there? If I go there, there's a new icon. If I go there, it's still the old icon. Good job.
The PR is not yet
I know.
merged.
Just checking. Okay. But
and there is a dark mode switch.
Ooh, there is a switch here. So you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I don't know if this is a.
We can choose other icons, but
Yeah. The little moon and sun might be more adapted because here there is a switch and we're like, what is that? Like if you don't look at the tooltip, you have no idea. But the switch is clever because it changes the title based on what it will do. Okay, good job. And then it's white over, it's always white over green. Interesting. Green works in both modes. Doesn't matter. Good. Yeah, the green over gray is not super nice, but that's
teal by default, and green
as
the accent color.
This one, fix minor security issue, internal file path disclosure. Is it the one that was like 410? Yeah, probably. So this was just sometimes there will be an alert with the path of the physical path of the file, which we don't want to display in media. It's a lot of exceptions change. Wow. So was there another PR before that for that one?
Yeah, there was one.
Just to be sure it's the one I'm thinking about. Okay, this one was closed. Okay, which means here milestones 1, 0. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to click there first. Milestones 1, 0. Ooh. That's one. Fix Trumbowyg missing shortcodes icon. Shortcode model. Okay. When we display this editor, we need to render some kind of HTML plus JavaScript such that the pop-up shows up when you click the icon. I assume there was the icon, but when you click on it, the pop-up, the model didn't show up.
Yeah, the icon was not displayed because
Either.
the model
Okay.
was not there. Yeah, maybe it was failing to execute some JavaScript.
HttpRedirectTask fixed redirect to PathBase. New contributor. Oh, because of the URL encoder, because here you expect a URL to be not encoded. You want the URL to be written, so don't encode the URL. Okay. Jean-Philippe, add options to set a cookie in the content request culture provider. Yeah, so this one. So there's a new option such that if you use the content request culture provider, so the content request culture provider allows you to switch the current culture based on the content item you are opening. So if you have a site in French and English, and you go on a page that is for French content item, then the full request will go in French, fine, because this is what the request culture provider does. It assigns the current thread culture to the one that the content item is taken, content request culture, okay? But the issue is that assume you have a drop-down French and English to switch languages, like you are, for instance, on the home page for English. Well, it's the home page, it's English, and then you in the drop-down, the culture picker, you select French. In this case, your whole navigation is back in French. So everything you will click should be in French. So you will see all the content items for French, the widgets for French, and so on. But if you go to a page that is in English, the cookie is still for French, which means the next page will open will assume you still want to be in French. This new option lets you switch the cookie to the culture of the content item you are watching, which means if you go to a different culture, on a content item of a different culture, then your cookie will say, oh, I want to be in this culture now. I don't want to be in the one that the drop-down selected before. Okay, so that's a new option. So the content request culture provider can set the cookie based on content item that matches the current URL with this option. Before it was just loading the page and then forgetting about this culture. Now you can say that if you open a page of a specific culture, then you have a cookie with this culture, such that the next request will use the same culture. Fix registration with external provider. Yeah, apparently the script that is executed, so now is externalized, and there was an issue with how I don't remember the bug, but I know he had also some options to change the way usernames are generated. Let me check. So this fixed the bug for creating users from external authentication. And then there is, oh, I think it was related to the email. You could not get the email from the new user. in some weird conditions. And then there is that. So now the one change also is that, so this is comment, this is not comment. But here in this case, you see before it was using, I'm sure you remember that, Jasmine, because you worked on that. To generate a random username, it was using datetime_now.toString, which is the number of ticks since 1970. So you will get a random username based on a number, starting with AZ, or U, for other cases if it's not Azure ID. But now he's using UUID. So this is really unique. Like if you were to load multiple users in the same tick, there would be an issue. And now it's very unique. So it's no more a number, it's just a UUID, like we do for content items. And as a reminder, we need to start with a string because, well, we prefix it with a string because this one was a number, but this one is actually also starting from a number. So in some systems, you can't start a username with a number. So we prefix some chars before to be sure that it will be valid in most systems. Okay. Union clause support from Lombiq. Can't remember the name. So the idea is that it's not the first time they add some SQL construct in the SQL parser. I think the over was one of them. So now the SQL parser will support union and all statements. So you see, this is the parser grammar changes, and also when it's parsed, how it's handled, and checking that the dialect generates the correct union and union all, which is common to every dialects we use. So that's good. So now you can do union queries, which might be super useful actually when you want to group two different queries to return the same tables or to return the same different documents from different tables, for instance. Might be interesting. Fix forms multi-submit, fixing lots of issues that were 410. The idea here is that if you add this class, then you can't submit the form twice. So when you double click the post, there won't be two post requests, but just a single one. And the issues that it triggered were like locking issues or concurrency issues, like two content items with the same version and then two published versions or something like this. So this is preventing this issue. And you have to change every single form to prevent that. Something we did in Orchard 1 was to actually use the thing that is below, that is the link that is converted to a submit button by checking the unsafe URL. So if it had the unsafe URL, we would apply it to the button and not the form. Here it's applied to the form for whatever button it is, even a submit button. So this is maybe much better. Maybe something to actually add to all the forms by default. I'm not sure if it might be an issue, maybe. But it's fixed now. Robot.txt documentation, because there is a support for robot.txt per tenant, as well as actually any, just as a reminder, it's not just for robots.txt, but any static file. The feature, yeah, the static file provider feature is a feature that allows you to have custom static files provided, served for each tenant differently. And in this case, in your app data sites, in the tenant folder, root, whatever file you put there will be served in priority over the module static files or the theme static files. This way you can customize, for instance, a CSS for a tenant by putting it in this folder. If all tenants use the same theme, you can customize a CSS or JavaScript by putting the files there. It's in the file system. What might be interesting, maybe, would be to have the same feature dynamically, like we do for templates, where we can define custom templates in the admin. Maybe that would be interesting to be able to define custom CSS per tenant in the admin, or custom JavaScript per tenant in the admin. Per tenant, and maybe also for all tenants. That's something that's an issue we have open and designed. So that might be related to that thing. It's super useful. But here, an example with the robots.txt, which definitely needs to be different for each tenant. Job, documentation for dark mode, because there is a switch. Well, it's not documentation for dark mode, it's dark mode for documentation, sorry. And the switch title. Okay. Check concurrency in DefaultContentManager. Jasmin, again. Too much free time, Jasmin. So here, this is just to prevent one of the issues that is mitigated by the double form submit fix. So this one is just saying, if two requests save the content item at the same time, there will be an there will be an exception. It won't be like the second wins. No, there will be an exception, and then the user will be able to redo it again, to save again if they really want to save it. But in this case, it means someone saved at the same time as you. So the item you loaded has been changed by someone else in the database in the meantime. So that's a good check to do. And how it works is just that every content item, or every document, including content items, have a version number. And whenever a content item is saved, or document is saved, its version is increased. So what we do here with CheckConcurrency is that when two documents have the same version, we check, well, we do an update or an insert, well, we do an update in the database, checking that the version of the document we are changing is the same as the one we are currently updating. And if the versions are different, it means someone else updated it in between. It's like a timestamp, but incrementing timestamp. Trumbowyg update, npm packages update, CodeMirror update, Monaco update. Fix ZoneOnDemand behavior. If zone equals null. Otherwise, zone equals add async. Not otherwise, actually. This is some weird code. If zone equals null, what's the difference here? Only if it's null. If it's not null, return the zone. Add. Because it's zone on demand, I see. So if the zone has been created, we have it, so don't return it anymore. If it hasn't been created, then create it. Okay. In this case, zone was not used. It's not even the zone. This is the thing that has been added, so might be a zone still. No. Okay. Just want to see the actual issue that was fixed from that PR. User is an element allowed to use zone add async. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I agree. StartBootstrap 704 coming soon, and CleanBlog updates fixing stuff. SB forms. Oh, new thing. Oh, StartBootstrap forms. Is that new?
It's just in the template, the assets.
No, that's something new here.
Mm-hmm. There is a contact page.
Create functioning contact forms with easy setup. Not sure it's a good thing to have that. How does it work? Because we don't have any service. So what's happening if we create a new site right now?
It's just in the it's a contact.html. It's not used in the template.
Okay, it's just a template, so we don't use that. Okay, good, thank you. Okay. And before there was nothing. So that's a new service they provide. And that's it. Questions about the changes? Something else that you need to say? I missed. Still no demos. Join Gabor. Gabor joined. No demos, Gabor. Thanks, comments. Sorry?
I just said no demos from me.
No demos for Gabor. He keeps all his demos for the Lombiq website. That's fine for the video. But no demos, no Dean, no demos. He's watching a soccer game, be sure. Topics 1.0. So, interestingly, 1.0 is done, right? That works. It's been continuously checked by Dean, even fixed this week from new issues. Update branding, we are waiting for assets. If we say it's blocking 1.0, I'm sure it will be done in 10 minutes. Or if you see a waiver, what's missing there? We're still missing some native files or days, logo marks, Adobe Illustrator files. Let's add more thumbs up. So we are waiting for that. Multi-size 5 icons. Because that's the thing. I believe that will be good to be part also of this PR. Well, I don't care, but I'm not sure what they will provide. So we are waiting for that. That's sad that 1.0. Yes, if we ship 1.0, we should update with the new branding. That would be bad to do it after. But nothing is blocking 1.0 right now. There are some issues, but not triage for 1.0. We did triage last week. We'll do again on Thursday. So on my side, I think we should ship 1.0 as soon as we have that. So Gabor, if you want to talk to Zoltan, if you talk to Zoltan sometimes, or whoever, Paris, for instance, can unblock this PR, so we have the assets, then we can start shipping 1.0.
Okay, I will ping them.
Thank you. And on the tasks to do, checking everything works by doing some validation, updating the translations. So maybe good time to check the translations for your language because there won't be, and also try on our side to not change the translation now that we want to update the translations. So don't change the translation strings or add new ones or change existing ones if you can. This way we can have a good coverage for translations.
And about translations, I opened an issue on the shortcode.translations repository to see if we can generate some packages on the Cloudsmith feed.
Test them.
You want me to explain?
No, I said to test them.
Yeah. Dean was also trying, but the latest version is 1 year. 1 year ago, we published after the RC2.
Yeah, on NuGet.
On NuGet, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we need to.
And we changed to use GitHub Actions on the main repo, but not on our shortcode.translations.
That should be. So what do we do? What is it using here? Oh,
PowerShell.
Well, PowerShell, but what is running it? Avior. Avior is using. Okay, so we can. Oh, it's still on my account. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so we can migrate it. It should be super easy. Even more that everything is done through a PowerShell script that computes the NuGet packages, something that Hicham did. Okay. Okay, so I can handle the the GitHub Actions and probably also the Cloudsmith account because we need a different repo for that. Okay, I'll try to do that this week. Wow. And also do that. That we can't. I hope they will change that at some point when we use the GitHub packages repository. To use the feed, we need to authenticate to GitHub. So when you're in Visual Studio and you add the feed, every time it will try to restore, you will have to type your password for GitHub. Super bad. Okay, so I will handle these 3 issues here. Should this one be merged at some point? Oh, there are configs. Sad, maybe some changes were done and then the strings were updated. How does it work, Antoine? Do you need to just regenerate some files and it will go away, or should we resolve the conflicts there? There should not be that many actually. See here, 1. Like just check which one is valid.
Yeah.
We need to look into the source code to see which one is used now. Because and the idea is that you go there, you see this is a separator, a separator, a separator. So the question is this one valid or is this one valid? And usually all of them, it would be the same source, like L10. And in this case, you just do that. Remove that and remove that. Mark as resolved and go to the next file and so on. And then do a commit. Because at the end, it will say commit and stuff. So it should be very easy to solve once we know which branch we need to use. And when it's done, we can merge this branch. Lots of Italian, Croatian, Cyrillic. So yeah, some activity. A little bit of Hungarian. Some French. Yeah, there's some good activity. Oh, Chinese. I was about to say where is Chinese. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, we need to try that. Looks good. Thanks for the reminder. And that's about it to be done. This test. I said also that we'll move to main, by the way. Okay, we'll rename the branch to main. I need to update the APIs for NuGet because they are out of date. And I will do that. All good. Questions?
Did you mean rename master to main in the CI commands?
In the repository and in the CI, by the way. So the repository will use main as the main branch. Something we can do also. Let me think. About the branch management. Something I've been doing on all my projects and has been working great is I use main. So this is my status, okay, for my projects. I use main for, and this is also what ASP.NET is doing actually. So main, previously known as master, is actually the current development, active development. For instance, for us today, active development is on dev. This is the default branch. On ASP.NET and what I also on my repository is that main is the active development default branch, which means everyone that comes to GitHub see by default the main branch, which is the active development branch. And then when we do PRs, we target always main because it's default branch. So this is our next goal. And we have release branches like, so in ASP.NET it's called release like 5.0, okay? Because they shipped 5.0. So for us, it might be release 1.0. And this way, if we want to target something that will update the 1.0 release, this will be release 1.0. It's equivalent to what we have today at 1.0.x, meaning this is the next changes for 1.0, but it's always the same branch. Okay, so when we merge to that release 1.0, it's a new release, and we can tag it plus tag, for instance, 1.0.2. So whenever we ship a new version, we can just tag it. And what I do actually in my repository is that as soon as I tag a branch, it is released to NuGet. So the only thing to do to release is, because this way we can push as much as we want on release 1.0 and then tag it when we want to ship it. And we tag it with a number, and this number is used to build the assets and to release on NuGet. So that makes it super easy to release. Anyone can just tag it. Anyone who has the rights to tag can then release something. So that, yeah, so main will be the next main development, which might be 2.0, for instance, or 1.1. Okay, it doesn't mean anything in terms of version. The version is defined when we create a release branch and when we tag it. So that might be interesting to do instead of having the dev, because after that we will need the dev, the 10x, and main will keep untouched. So that's kind of weird. We have too many branches in this case, I think. I mean, there are branches which are dormant. So yes, and not useful because having a dev branch, people don't know if they use the main or the dev, which one. So something you might want to talk about. Maybe create an issue about that and let people comment on it, because not everyone has a meeting today, so I have opinions and can share them. So that's my suggestion. And in terms of, let me show, for instance, for Gene, for instance, updating it. The workflow is super easy. I have a build workflow and the publish workflow, and the publish, you see, this is just that. Just that does everything. It builds, does a test, and ships. And the most complex logic here is to extract from the tags the name, the value of the tag, and then the .NET pack that creates the NuGet packages has the $ version as an argument, which is taken from this regular expression here. Okay. So here what it says is that anytime you push a tag that looks like V something, then we extract that and we say, okay, we need to publish this commit, this branch with this version, and it does everything, and then it pushes using the secrets. So super easy. We could even, yeah. So that's, and just you see 20 lines of code, and just 5 of them are very useful. Install.NET, test, pack, publish, and that's what I have on all the repositories now. Tab, workflows, publish, same thing, just copy paste, exactly copy paste. So here I even said, okay, anything after a V, like v foo-beta dot whatever. And the build script is just the same thing, installing more SDKs just to test more things, and nothing special here. Just saying, okay, you will do the build on every branch. Instead of this one says you will publish only if it's a tag that is committed. Just so not very hard to manage, actually. Quite easy even. Yep. And because it's a tag, automatically it appears as a release every time you see here. So that's also the nice thing with the tags, is that because there is a tag, you can see the release and it points to the source code that you can download, and I can just add comments about what was shipped with this release. So, and this thing is created automatically. Well, I still need to type that, but that's it. So that I like it. It was my comment. Anyone else? All good then. Right, Gabo.
Why is it better to call it main instead of master?
Is it a question?
Yes.
Yes, it is better because it's not worse than calling it master. It's not a technical issue. It's a political issue. And yeah, the same way it's better to allow the stadiums to project rainbow lights because it's better. It doesn't hurt anyone and it's encouraging for every minorities. So is it an issue for you to rename to main?
No, it's not an issue for me. I'm just curious because we had master branches for years now.
That's, yes, for decades on GitHub. Yeah, because historically it was called master slave, like master slave architectures or the master branch, but it has political and historical connotations, even more in the States. So people have decided. So for instance, in the Microsoft org, every single repo has been renamed to main. And I've done that also in my repositories. And because it doesn't hurt technically to do that, so I think it's good to do it.
Oh, I see. Thanks.
That has been change has been done. This one is on main, but oh yeah, .NET. So it starts with .NET. So if you take the .NET 4, now it's on main also. Runtime, all the Microsoft repositories have been moved to main. And the nice thing is that on GitHub, it's handled automatically. So when you go to settings, branches, you see you can change the name of a branch. And if it's a default branch, all the PRs will also be moved to the next branch. So it should not have an impact in this case for us. Yeah. So questions?
Yes, Sebastian, when do you plan doing this? Is it this week or because
when we
release?
Triage? Yeah. When we hit the button release, I think it should be on the main branch, if that's the question.
Okay, because I have maybe one issue that I wanted to look at, and maybe we should.
Oh, after the triage, then we'll do the triage and see if there is anything left for 1.0. It will take a few weeks to release. Okay, that's what happens all the time because translations, because testing, and oops, new issues, and so yeah. But that's good that we hit what we can call ZBB, zero bug bounce. That's the term in Microsoft when you reach the goal to ship by fixing all the issues that block you from shipping. And sometimes fixing the issues that block you means closing them or assigning them to a next version, saying okay. But that's called ZBB, zero bug bounce. So that's a good achievement. And yeah, we can focus on shipping and see the actual issues, the ones that we don't know yet. It will take a few weeks. That's what happens all the time. It's not like tomorrow, just because of translations, for instance, and testing and then updating the samples repo and then putting them on a feed and then testing the feed and realize, oh, that didn't work, need to fix something else. So, and if we have a good branching and tagging support, then we can easily fix something and reship a 1.01, 1.02, and so on. There, it will happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will happen. For the first version, there's always something. But
for all the versions, there is always bugs to fix. Okay, that's about it. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. See you on Thursday for the triage before 1.0 and next Tuesday. Oh, wait. I hope I should be there next Tuesday, but I will be pretty tired. I'm traveling to France. So jet lag, usually that will be hard. I'll try, okay? But that will be my first or second day in France, so that will be super hard. I will let you know, but there should be the meeting. Just to let you know that there will be issues. Okay, thanks everyone. I'll update online with my status for Tuesday. See you on Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.